Hey guys, this is the hike to Twin Peaks and Mount Waterman. Twin Peaks, right there. It's right in the middle of Angeles National Forest, and it's a nice one because you don't get a lot of crowds here. I usually do this one and don't see anyone else, which is pretty awesome. It's about 11 or so miles, and it's a kind of reverse lollipop loop. It's a little bit tough because there's a decent amount of climbing. There's over 3,000 feet of up and down. But you have to go up and down, so it's not like you're just going up a mountain and then coming back down. You have to go up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's tough to get your rhythm sometimes. Sometimes those are tougher than just going up the mountain and back down. But it's beautiful, and I recommend doing it if you want to get away from the crowds. You're not going to get like the Ontario Peak or obviously Mount Baldy type crowds here. So if you want to do it, just go to the website. I have all the info, but otherwise here are the turn-by-turn directions.
The trailhead parking is in the Buckhorn Station day use area, so not the campground. It's another parking lot up the road a little bit from there, which is basically trailhead parking. There are bathrooms here, and you do need a parking pass, so just go to the website to figure out what that is. What you're going to do to start the hike is you're going to go out to the road and then kind of go left and cross the road. And you're going to look for this white gate right ahead of you here. And there are some other gates in the ski area, so this is the one directly to the left from the Buckhorn day use area. Just go through here and go up the dirt road for a few minutes. And after a few minutes, you're going to see the Mt Waterman trail to your left. There's a little sign, and you're just going to hike down here, and you're going to start the climb. And I really enjoy this part of the hike between here and the junction to Waterman. It's beautiful. You're going to kind of see the highway go beneath you, and you're going to go through pines and cedar trees, and eventually you're going to come up to a ridge, which is right here, and you're going to make the right. Now, along this ridge, there are a ton of little vista points, so little side trails going off to the left here where you get nice views, and you can see everything from Mount Baldy to Mount Wilson to the Twin Peaks. And here's a little example of one that I'll show you. This is one that's closer to the next junction, but you can see Twin Peaks East right there, which is where you're going. And you can also see Triplet Rock, which is a last little hump down there past Twin Peaks East, which is one of the hardest peaks to get to. There's no trail to it. We're not going there today, but if you go to the website, I will tell you about it and link to a trail or a guide to get there. Now your next junction will be here, and if you make the right, you're going to go up to Mount Waterman. And if you want to just do a 5-mile hike, you can do that. But to go to Twin Peaks, we're going to go straight. And from here on out, you have about 1,100 feet of descents before you get to the Twin Peaks saddle. And the trail is pretty well maintained, easy to follow. And at this junction, there's a sign right there. That actually was put in the day before I made this guide by some volunteers. But we're going to make the hard left and continue on down the switchbacks. And you can see Twin Peaks is there in the distance. But we're going to go through these switchbacks here until we get to the saddle, which is right here. I just want to apologize for the shakiness. I don't know what happened here. I had some technical difficulties. But at the saddle, there's a little side trail to the left that goes to a heliport, which is sort of overgrown, but you have some nice views of Baldy if you want to check it out. But the trail continues and sort of bears to the left here and goes up this little hill. Then once you're up the little hill, you have a little downhill section before the real climb to Twin Peaks East starts. So enjoy this little meadow. And then you start the climb up. Now the climb is steep, and it breaks apart, comes together. You can see there's a little cairn there. Just look for the cairns, take breaks, look up to see what the next move is. It's doable. It's not a scramble. There's no rock climbing, but you do have to go up some loose sections. And then eventually you'll come to the peak. Now the peak here has great prominence. It's pretty big, so you can kind of walk around to see all of the sights. But there are a lot of flat spots here. I could tell that people have camped here. I've not camped here myself, but I could see that other people had. And once you've had your fill of the summit, you're just going to head back down the way you came to the junction with the Mount Waterman trail that we saw a few junctions earlier. So you're just going to head down here. There is a small day use trail to the west peak, so you can walk across that if you'd like. But otherwise, keep going down to the saddle and then back up to the junction with the new trail sign, and then back to this first junction with the big sign that we saw much earlier. And we're going to make the left here and go up to Mount Waterman. Now, after the climbing that you just did to come back from the saddle, this will feel pretty easy. It's only about 400 or so feet up to Mount Waterman. There's a little San Gabriel Wilderness boundary sign, and you can see the slope here is pretty mellow. Now, at the split, we're going to go to the left. If you go to the right, you sort of bypass the summit area, but we're going to go to the left. It's going to twist around a little bit, and it's going to come out to a rocky area here in the summit area, and you're going to make the right. Now, the actual summit is on top of those boulders up there ahead. You can climb up to it. It's a little bit of a scramble if you want to go there. And this is the scramble. You can see a lot of people do it, so it's not super hard. But if you want to do it, head up there. But otherwise, we're going to head sort of straight along the trail, almost parallel to that cutoff trail that we saw earlier. And there are a ton of really small trails all over the summit. So if you go to the website, I have a top-down view that you can see kind of how you should proceed through here. But you're going to keep going straight. You're going to bear to the right, and you're going to rejoin the trail that we split off from before. And there is a cool little Mount Waterman summit sign here, a little trail sign if you want to get a photo. This is a good place. From the sign, we're going to keep going straight here and kind of make our way back down through the ski area. Now, the rest of the trails are these dirt roads, and this is the traditional kind of Twin Peaks Waterman loop. You're going to come up here. You're going to make the right, start heading downhill. There are some nice views as you go down here. Off to the left is the Mojave, but we're going to go straight down here through the ski area. Also, just to note that some of the guides, like on All Trails and some other sites, have you going down through the ski slopes to the right there. I just take this road because it's easier to walk down and it's not as steep. But keep going straight here, and eventually you're going to come to the Mount Waterman ski area. And in the winter, you can actually ski here if you'd like to. And at this first aid station, we're going to avoid the ski slopes over to the right. We're going to make the quick left. And then once you make the left, at the next little cafe building, you're going to make the right, and you're going to go down the road, which will take us eventually down to the start at Buckhorn. You can also just go back down the way you came on the smaller trails. I do that sometimes when I don't feel like going this way. But either way, this is the loop, and you're going to go straight down. You're going to get some nice views of Baden-Powell as you go down here. And there's one last junction, these big boulder piles here. You're going to make the left and continue to head downhill. And eventually you're going to come back to the gate where you first came in and cross the road. And just cross the road here and you'll be back at the Buckhorn day use area.
Man, so that's the hike. I am up on Twin Peak right now with a couple of flies, but this part of the hike up to this summit, one of the peaks of the Twin Peaks, is really tough. If you go to the website and you look at the topo map, it goes straight up those contours. So you have to take your time. There's no hiding. You have to earn this one. But it's awesome. The views are beautiful. And yeah, just go to the website for all the details. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you do me a big favor, click that little thumbs up. That helps other people find the hike, hopefully do it safely. And please stay in touch. You can subscribe to my YouTube page. I have Instagram, email newsletter, Facebook, Twitter, yada, yada, yada. However you want, you can sign up there. And if you see me out on the trail, of course, as always, please say hello. I love to meet you guys. So hopefully I'll see you out there. Bye.